Welcome to Solve This Murder. I'm your detective, Bill.
And I'm your crime scene criminal and witnesses, Dani. We're on part 5 of the Hairdresser Homicide.
In part 4, we found out that Anthony Sachs's financial position was a lot worse than he initially let on.
We met Liv's rival hairdresser, Maddox, who absolutely hated her, had no problem with her being dead, but unfortunately had an airtight alibi.
And we discovered that the murder took place at 1:30 a.m. and the murder weapon was a pair of scissors used from front on. Alright, so I need to look at my notes. I'm going to go back through my notes and let's get an overview of what this investigation is so far.
Doing a little bit of preliminary red stringing.
Yeah. Flash forward. I'm sitting in my office. I got my big chalk. Why would I use chalk? It's strings. I got my big cork board out. And I'm putting up photos, I'm sticking them together. Let's have a look. What do I got? So, I'm going back to the start of my notes, everybody. Here we are, in Fulham Street, in the East Quarter. I'm at Hairmazement. Hairmazement is a hair studio in which the owner of said hair studio, Olivia Sachs, has been murdered. Now, we got a call at, midday-ish? Lunchtime, 1?
Yeah.
To say, hey, this woman is dead. Could the police come and, solve a crime? But what's interesting is that when we got there and we questioned the 2 workers who reported the body, they both said, oh yeah, she's been sitting in that chair since we got here at 9 a.m. We didn't want to disturb her because, she's a butthead. And then when we finally went, why hasn't she moved all day after we went off to lunch, we realized, oh, she's dead, right? Her throat's been cut. Already, I want to put a question mark on my red string here. What did they say about... Nope, it doesn't matter. I was going to say, wait, did they say that she was dead before they went to lunch or after they got back from lunch? Maybe one of them came back and killed her. But no, I just figured out that she was killed at 1:30 a.m. So she has been dead sitting there the whole time, presumably. Unless they're both lying to me. But if everybody's lying to me, then, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
That's when the police lose.
Yeah, what am I going to do if they're just like, oh, the body's been here since 9 a.m. and then it turns out that every single human I've talked to, what if they're all in on it? In that case, I don't know, I can't solve that murder. That's too tough. So the body's been there since 9 a.m. But it's actually been there possibly since 1:30 a.m. Now, Pearl is one of the 2 employees. I'm going to go over to the Pearl section of my red string board. Big picture of Pearl. What does she look like, Dani?
Why would you?
You haven't crafted a full image of her exact face, and who would you cast as Pearl, Dani? I thought this was the first step to writing a murder.
I don't know. She's 19. I don't know who a 19-year-old is. Zendaya?
All right,
She's
so
still
Pearl,
19?
Pearl played by Zendaya.
She's not 19.
Pearl played by Zendaya can play 19. She probably still is playing 19. Pearl played by Tom Holland.
Zendaya's too cool. It's not quite how I pictured Pearl.
Okay. Pearl played by... I don't know any people.
Right.
I don't watch...
Who is 19?
Meryl Streep.
Okay.
But as a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
No, that's also probably too cool. Doesn't matter. She is a new employee. She's only been there for a couple of months?
Mm-hmm.
Did I make that up?
Nope.
I can't see where I've written that, but I'm just remembering it with my human brain. She's been there for a few months. I had in my idea that she could be a plant from a rival hair company, but maybe that's nothing. Maybe she's just a new employee. Because I can't see in my notes where I've written that, so I may have imagined it overnight.
I think you may have, based on a couple of other things. Because her being nosy about stuff is almost the exact opposite of what I got going for her.
Oh, yes? She's actually completely unnosy?
I mean, she doesn't care about the hairdressing business as a whole, according to Marley. Like, she doesn't get involved in the whole scene so much.
Okay, interesting. Marley is the other employee. She's one who's like the assistant manager sort of thing. Or maybe just the manager if Liv's the owner. Maybe, I don't know. Liv's the owner manager. She's the... Yeah, doesn't matter. She works there as well. She does all the accounting. She runs the books. But she has issues because Liv does not run so much of the supply and the customer stuff secretly. Doesn't tell her who the suppliers are. Doesn't tell her who the clients are. Organizes all that herself. So Marley doesn't have a huge amount of sway over that side of the business. Just her
It's
secret list of clients.
Just
Yeah,
her
super
small
celebs.
cultivated celebrity list.
Yeah, right. Because already we know there was a client in the business the morning that Liv was lying dead the whole time, and Marley and Pearl were the ones that interacted with and treated. You don't treat people. What do you do? Worked on that client? What do you do to a client when you're a hairdresser? Cool. Now, there are some other people involved as well. Every time I've asked about a possible rival or enemy, Maddox has come up as a name. I swear, I say every time. I probably only asked twice, but Maddox came up twice. Maddox is a rival salon owner, but Maddox has a pretty solid alibi, having been... I still didn't quite work out exactly what Maddox was in rehab for. It seemed like fake rehab to get ready for a show. It was all very strange, but I'm assuming if I look into that, if I have in the past, like I'm in the future now, I'm in my office.
Yeah. He called it rehab to dramatize it. You go, you take a look. It's just some extra fancy detoxing place.
Yeah,
it's basically a spa.
But it checks out.
Yes,
he was in there the whole time.
Yep,
he didn't mysteriously leave at midnight on one night to go and murder someone and come back.
Not at all.
Yeah, so I think Maddox is not a suspect. Maddox did say that Liv stole his notebook. I don't know whether or not that is incredibly relevant, but maybe it's
or even true.
Well, that's also true. His business is struggling, but other than that, he's just a cool weirdo. I've literally written cool weirdo in my notes. We also found out that on the day before she was killed, or really, I suppose, leading up to the night that she was killed, there were two things that have been noteworthy about that day to me. The first is that Liv went out of the building, went off to go and contact a supplier. Like she went, which was unusual, I feel. Right? Usually things would just arrive, but she went out. She complained about stuff being cancelled. Went to the supplier, got these things, came back. I've checked out what it is she got. It seems to just be normal hair products, if absurdly overpriced. But nothing there seems like, oh, that's the indication that, something crazy is going on. She just went and got to, there's something there, but I haven't figured out what. So I need to follow up on that supply run. In fact, look, I've drawn this section here with some pins and things. I can take a few out. I can take a pin out of Maddox. I think the one thing to note about the whole Maddox thing is his complaint with Liv is, oh, she stole my notes and stole things from me to help herself. So maybe there is something similar to that with this idea of the secret clients and things like that. There's some idea of stealing clients from people, or that kind of a feeling there. But it's hard to pin down because it's almost like I want the opposite. People are going to try and steal the clients from her by stealing her list of clients. That's kind of what her brother is trying to do. I'll get to that in a second, everybody. But that's the main thing. So I'm taking the pin out of Maddox. Lotion analysis, I put a pin on. I don't think that's coming back with anything other than these are hair lotions, right?
That's right.
I'm taking the pin out of lotion analysis. You get out of here. Now, I have another pin on this supply run, right, which I just mentioned there, which is that, she went off to get this hair lotion at an odd time for some strange reason. I don't know what is still going on with that, so I'm leaving that pin in case that becomes relevant, because I don't know who she went to see.
Didn't you send someone off to the factory or whatever? Isn't that where Johnny Cools is?
So maybe I'll find out. Yes, I think I did send Johnny off to go track that down. So maybe I'll hear back something about who supplied those or what's going on there. But at the moment, I've got to leave the pin in. Her client list, I suppose I'm leaving a pin in. More so just to find out if someone has stolen that. I'm not really sure. I have a pin here in Fiona Sainsbury. Because the other thing that happened on the day that she died, or the day leading up to her death at midnight, 1 a.m., midnight, same thing, is that she was visited by legendary fashion designer and renowned recluse Fiona Sainsbury. Obviously, immediately I followed up on that, but I got a pretty believable call from the Fiona Sainsbury people that no, Fiona Sainsbury has never been there. She never goes out and gets her hair done. What are you talking about? You're ridiculous. And Fiona Sainsbury, being as reclusive as she is, probably an easy person to impersonate. Because people aren't like, I know Fiona Sainsbury and you're not her at all. Because they don't know Fiona Sainsbury. So There may have been someone masquerading as Fiona Sainsbury. Now, the question is, does Liv know that? Is this part of some secret cabal that Liz is putting together, or is Liz the dupee rather than the duper? Is she being duped by this fake Fiona Sainsbury? I don't know who the fake Fiona Sainsbury is, and I might be able to find out, but I don't know how to find out. Maybe I should talk to the people who saw her here, like Pearl and Marley. Maybe I should talk to them, try and get maybe they'll have a photo of her or an image of her, and I can follow up on that. I'm not really sure. Those are my pins. Meanwhile, we also met her brother, Anthony Sachs. Anthony's the younger brother who is in a lot of financial trouble. He's moved back home. He's desperate to get his hands on Liv's client list. And in fact has been trying to convince Pearl to give him said client list, to try and find it and get him the details, and then he can start contacting them. Pearl has not procured for him any client list stuff, and also seems to be playing with him a little bit about it. Did she send him a message saying, "You'll have to marry me if you want the client list," which is the wildest ultimatum I've ever heard. But that's going on with Anthony and Pearl. Now, Anthony is going to inherit this business, which seems to be like Hemazement. It's a thriving business, pretty profitable business.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So he stands to gain a lot, both for his immediate monetary gain of having the business. Like, he doesn't even need to run it. He can just sell it and make a lot of money to set himself up. He said he needs money to set up his interior design business. So inheriting and then selling the hair studio would work brilliantly. Or if he keeps it, he also has a basis to bring in these fancy clients and then also keep going with other businesses with interior design or things like that. Like, most of his life goals and problems would be solved by the death of his sister. So he may have done it. So far, he's the big motive. Like, the capital M motive is sticking on Anthony Sachs. He gains the most from it. Mm-hmm. I can't think of anybody else other than Maddox, really, but even then, he doesn't gain much, who gains from the murder of Olivia Sachs. Mm-hmm. Anthony and I don't know, he doesn't seem like he did it. And if he did, it's maybe it's too obvious. So the other questions are, I now know that Olivia was killed in the shop. Well, I don't know if I know it's in the shop, but it's pretty clearly in the shop.
Evidence seems to be going that way.
At 1:30 a.m. So the other question is, who can get into the business at 1:30 a.m.? So I think maybe my first step right now is to see if I can track down keys. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to talk with Marley.
Okay. All right. Did Molly have a voice? Not really, right?
Not really. You can give her a voice.
No. All good.
Make it sound like a dog.
No.
Like Marley and me.
No.
Like Marley and me.
No.
Like Marley.
The dog's dead. Get over it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll talk to Pearl then. No, Marley?
Yeah, sure.
Marley, I was just wondering, you're the manager, sort of assistant manager of the store?
I mean, yeah, though I don't know how true that is anymore. Do we know what's happening yet? I assume this is the next day now. Some time has passed.
Yeah, sure. I'm inheriting the business, Marley. It's going to be mine.
What?
Yeah, I killed her and I inherited the business. It's me, Bill.
What?
Yeah. So you might have a key. Would you have a key? Do you lock up or open the store?
Well, I mean, whoever leaves last usually does. We all have a key.
You all have a key?
Yeah.
Pearl has a key as well?
Yeah, of course.
Marley, can I see your key?
Yeah, sure. And she reaches
It's missing.
for a ring of keys and she meticulously slides them over one by one. And it's this one.
All right.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yep,
It's all
wonderful.
fine.
I'm going to ask the same of... Oh, yeah.
I will say, I don't know if this has come up for. I don't want to pin any blame anywhere, but Pearl can be a little bit...
Has she lost her key before?
Oh, no, not at all. But I feel like I've gotten the impression that security isn't something that she considers important. It's entirely possible, I feel. I've got no proof of this. She may have just left something unlocked.
Interesting. You say that she left stuff unlocked yesterday, or the day before Liv was found.
Sure.
Who locked up the store that day?
I honestly don't know. I left first.
Oh, you left first?
Not much first. We all leave roughly the same time, but I went out first.
Interesting. Okay. Man, I just really think Anthony did it. Because all I can picture now is Pearl either didn't lock up or was talking with Anthony about stuff, and he was like, hey, don't lock up or let me in so I can, like, ransack the office in the evening to try and find her hidden information. Then bloody Liv arrives, goes, what are you doing ransacking my personal information, brother? And he goes, your eternal reward, and cuts her throat from the front. And then he freaks out because he's a nervous dude. He tries to clean everything up like he thinks that's going to help, doesn't know what to do, leaves her there, covers her up, runs away. He comes back the next day knowing that she's dead because he killed her. All of it, I'm done. I've solved it. It's Anthony. Lock him up. I call the police, and then I answer because I'm the police, and I say, lock him up. Yeah, I've done it. Okay, so maybe not. I probably need some evidence. All right, well, maybe I'll talk to Pearl about it as well. Pearl, do you have a key to the store?
Yeah, of course.
Can I see your key?
Sure.
I'm just making sure people haven't, like, lost their key or it's been stolen.
She shows you her key just fine. Goes, yeah, what? Someone going around stealing keys?
Look, perhaps, I just want to know, on the day before Liv was murdered, do you know who locked up the store?
I guess it was Liv.
You left before Liv?
Yeah.
Liv stayed here. She often stays late.
Not as far as I know. Like, it's not like she pulls all-nighters or anything. She doesn't bring in her secret clients in the middle of the night.
Well, no, you'd know.
No, she doesn't.
Well, how do you know that?
Because, like, she writes down when she sees them. They come in for regular appointments. Duh.
Oh, interesting. Do you have I seen that book of writing down when she sees them?
She doesn't, not in a book. It's on the computer.
Oh. Have I checked this computer properly?
You have a little, and
I
you
couldn't
weren't
find
able to find an excessive amount, no.
Pearl, could you show me where that's saved?
Yeah, no worries. And she goes in, she finds some password-protected folders, and she effortlessly types whatever she needs to get into those.
Oh, Pearl, do you know Liv's password?
I mean, it's not hard.
What is it?
No, like, getting around a password, it's not hard.
Oh, you're a hacker.
Okay.
Pearl is a hacker.
You knew she was good with computers. And you knew that she happened to know stuff a lot.
Yeah. Pearl.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever, it's fun sometimes. And that's weird. Huh.
What's wrong, Pearl?
It's not here?
The list isn't there. Ooh,
Well,
somebody broke in and stole the list on a USB.
Yeah, like the contact details are just not there for all of the super secret clients. That's weird. They've definitely been here.
Yes, look, okay, hold on. Get out of here, Pearl. I'm jumping into my mind palace.
No, you don't. Like,
Oh, what?
they were here yesterday.
They were here yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday, in this case, being the day that Liv was killed. Or the day Liv's body was found.
Yes.
When did you last check this list, Pearl?
Like, first thing in the morning before the client even came in, and I had to do work on them.
Okay, hold on a second.
But I mean, if you need this information, maybe she wrote stuff down somewhere else. Like, I don't know, where do you think she'd put stuff? Is there anything you need from here?
Do you have a secret stolen notebook?
No. No.
Any other notebooks that she might have on hand?
You mean like a physical,
Like a
real-life
physical,
notebook?
real-life
No, I don't know
notebook.
anything about that.
Can I look for one?
Yeah, you don't find one. Where else? Like, if you need anything electronic, I'm on it. That's fine.
Do you know her email password?
Yeah, of course.
Can you get me into emails?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll get a warrant later.
No problem. She gets in. She goes, no, I'm doing it. That makes it okay, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, okay.
That's legal.
All right. She gets into
Now
it.
you're just a whistleblower.
All right. And an email list pops up. You can see through the inbox. It's not particularly full. You do see one from the morning, mid-afternoon of the murder day, so 2 days ago.
Yes,
Mhm.
when she was alive. The morning that she was last alive.
Yes.
There's an email from that day?
Yeah.
Oh, to the supplier? Is this about this? What is the email? I don't need to guess what it's about. I could just read it.
You assume it's nothing official because it's just to Vera. That's all it says. As far as an address goes, looks like a personal email address. But
Oh, do you have the text? Can I read it out?
no, I do not.
Oh, all right.
All it says is 4 p.m. okay?
Ooh, 4 p.m. okay. Hey, Pearl, could you tell me what time Fiona Sainsbury arrived the day before yesterday?
Oh, that was at 4 o'clock.
All right. Vera is fake. Vera is real. Everybody's fake and everyone's real. All right, so Vera turned up at 4 p.m. Vera is our fake Fiona Sainsbury. If I search the emails, can I find anything else to or from Vera?
Let's just say that using your resources, attaching a person to an email address, especially when you already have their first name, is not a particularly difficult thing to get through.
All right, well, who is it?
All right, so...
Vera Wang? Because you could just have Vera Wang. Like, she's famous herself. You don't need to pretend she's somebody else famous.
No, it doesn't seem to be. You don't recognize the name. It's just Vera Groom.
Vera
If that's someone famous, you're not aware of it. And neither is Pearl if you share that with her.
What if none of the famous people are real? Okay, do I have the capacity to contact or go and talk to Vera Groom?
Yes, absolutely. Would you like to set up an interview at Jenna's?
Look, is there a Jenna's diner near her?
Of course.
I mean, there's like 3 every block. So
It's like 7-Eleven in Tokyo.
yeah, all right. Well, I'll meet Vera at the local Jenna's diner.
All right.
But not that local Jenna's diner, the other local Jenna's diner.
Okay, so you go in there, you arrive first, and then after a little bit of time, arriving just a hint late, you see a woman come in. She has medium length red hair. She looks like she is about the same age as Liv. She looks a little uncomfortable. How much did you tell her on the phone?
Oh, I said, Vera, I'm part of a ongoing police investigation. I'd like to talk with you about Olivia Sacks,
Mm-hmm.
who
Okay.
has been murdered.
You told her that?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, she probably looks a little bit more than uncomfortable.
Okay.
She looks a little terrified.
I say, Vera, please sit down.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to talk to you about an ongoing murder investigation that I'm part of.
What happened?
Well, I'm hoping maybe you could help fill in a few blanks for me.
I don't know anything about a murder. What?
No, of course not. I'd like to talk to you about the 2 day. I say the date that was 2 days ago,
Okay.
so it doesn't sound like I'm saying 2 days ago. I want to say like the 8th of
Yep, no problem.
Grember.
Oh, yes, that was the last time I saw her.
Yes. Now you came in at 4 p.m. for an appointment.
Yes, that's right.
Was that under your real name, Vera?
This is no, that's complicated. Liv asked me to not use my real name. She asked me to pretend to be someone else.
Yes. Now, did she explain why she wanted you to pretend to be someone else?
She was worried about her client list, and she thought that something was going on where whenever one of her celebrity clients came in, suddenly their information was being stolen or copied or something not long after.
Okay.
And I think she was worried about competition. I'm not in the whole hairdressing game, but it sounds a lot more intense than...
Yes, I believe Pearl described it as a cutthroat industry.
I mean, yes, that sounds about right.
Oh, Pearl did it.
You didn't...
Call the cops. Get Pearl, arrest her, take her in.
You didn't tell her how Liv died, so she doesn't understand why that's so horrible.
Did I tell Pearl? Oh, wait, no, Pearl found the body. She'd know.
Look, I
sorry,
used...
Vera, just give me 1 second. No, Vera, give me 1 second. Call the police. It was clearly Pearl. Pearl did it. She made the joke about a cutthroat industry. She's been using her computer skills to steal all of the client's information and send it off to sell it to the highest bidder. And then Liv found out, and so she killed Liv. Sorry, go on, Vera.
This is building up to be a good denouement where you actually do the accuse everyone in turn a little bit.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
It's going to be fun.
Too bad I don't know who actually did it.
Exactly. I mean, I used to be a professional ballerina, and I should know about competitive industries, but man,
You say that with the weight of something that's incredibly important to my investigation.
No. It really
a
wasn't.
ballerina?
I'd just been trying to say it and you kept cutting me off, so now it has to be said.
I'm writing it in my notes. Interesting. So Liv was worried that her client's information was being stolen?
Skimmed in some way. She didn't go into details, but yes. And so she thought that if I came in and pretended to be a big fancy client, I don't know, maybe she could have a sting operation about it.
You were a honeypot, as they say.
Oh, I suppose
don't think
that's
what they say.
not too different. I guess, in a way. But I mean, she wondered maybe someone would come to contact me afterwards, would sneak up to me and find out my information. That didn't happen at all.
No, that didn't happen? No one's...
No.
Interesting.
Maybe they didn't believe me. I don't know how good I was at it. That's not the sort of thing I normally do.
Maybe it was Fiona Sainsbury doing all the stealing. And then she knew that you weren't her because she was her.
I mean, it wasn't the whole point that she doesn't ever go out.
That's
so
what she wants you to think. It was get the cops. It was Fiona. Okay, so Liv... my question earlier about dupee or duped, Liv was the dupee. Like, she organised this deception, right? That Vera was Fiona because she's trying to catch someone in the act. She's trying to be like, somebody has been contacting my secret clients as they come in, and I want to give them a secret client they can't refuse. That's not the wording, but you know what I mean. They can't resist. But nobody has contacted Vera. So they haven't been acting straight away. But then again, Liv did die overnight, so maybe someone didn't want to reach out so quickly. I don't know. So if someone's been doing something with her client list, we need somebody who has access to that client list, who could be stealing the information as they go, right? Like, for who's doing this. I don't yet know how this ties into the murder. Maybe someone got caught in the act of trying to steal the client list. Maybe that's why Liv was there overnight. Maybe she thought people are coming in overnight, so she thought, I'll wait around and try and catch whoever's been doing this in the act. Maybe if Liv's thought was, people are stealing my client information from somewhere, and maybe they're coming in overnight to steal that, so I'll give them a fake super client, then I'll be the last one in the office, say, oh, I'll leave in 10 minutes, because she is believably the last one in the salon, and she can then wait, hiding in the darkness, maybe on a chair, so that when someone sits at the computer log in, she swivels around and she says, I've been expecting you. But then she's swiveled to face the person, so they get angry and they just cut her throat and kill her. So I still need to come into like, that to me, that places Liv in the office at the right time. That gives her why she was there, right? She has set a trap and she was waiting to spring said trap. But it looks like in the springing of the trap, she was caught in her own trap. The trap of death and murder. So who was the other person?
Yeah,
whoever she was trying to spring the trap on is the person that killed her.
Yep. So right now you need to know the exact who. You've got a few choices there. And you're going to need some way to find some concrete evidence. There is something
That's what I need. Because I now know how it happened. I know what happened. I can do a recreation with a faceless black void. Liv sets the trap. She brings Vera in.
Save it for the denouement.
I know what happened. I know exactly how this murder happened. I just don't know who did it. Solve This Murder is created by Bill Sunderland and Dani Siller as part of the Consume This Media network. To find out more about all of our shows, you can head to consumethismedia.com. If you want to try your hand at solving this murder yourself, send your current theory in to solvethismurderpod@gmail.com and you may end up on our wall of detectives. A special thank you to Jared, Devon and Whit from the podcast Advanced Sagebrush and Shootouts for creating our theme music, and thanks to all of you for listening.